Chapter 24 Shadows Reborn 3 decades had passed since the end of the Eldorian Klysmos. The realm had seen both triumph and tribulation in the wake of the Great Conflict. Rebuilding efforts had borne some fruit, and a fragile peace had settled over the land. However, the passage of time had not erased the shadows of the past but had allowed them to fester and grow. As Eldoria struggled to move forward, ancient threats stirred once more from their dark abodes. The obsidian dragon, presumed slain in the final confrontation, had, in fact, survived. Unknown to the victors, the dragon had retreated to a secretive and remote volcanic cavern deep within the Storm Peak Mountains. Severely wounded but not defeated, it had been recovering and amassing power in isolation. Over the years, the dragon's once dying flames had rekindled, fueled by a combination of dark magic and the volcanic forces within its lair. The dragon's reawakening was marked by a series of unnatural phenomena. Seismic disturbances and fiery eruptions began to plague the mountains, signaling the dragon's resurgence. Dark clouds and ash clouds obscured the skies above the cavern, casting a menacing shadow over the surrounding lands. The obsidian dragon had grown stronger and more malevolent, its scales now imbued with dark, pulsing veins of energy. As the dragon emerged from its lair, it sought revenge and domination. Its roar was heard across the mountains, a harbinger of impending doom. The once scorched lands began to feel the dragon's wrath as it unleashed torrents of molten rock and fire upon the world. In the abyssal wastes and twilight marshes, the dark life, thought vanquished, had re-emerged with renewed vigour. The defeat during the Klysmos had not been total. Instead, the dark life had retreated into the deepest shadows, biding their time and consolidating their power. Over the years, they had forged dark pacts and summoned more sinister entities to their cause. The resurgence of the dark life brought with it a host of new horrors. Among these were the undead knights, fearsome revenants clad in rusted, cursed armour and wielding enchanted weaponry. These knights were driven by a malevolent will, bound to serve their shadowy masters with unyielding loyalty. Their presence brought an eerie silence to the battlefield, their hollow eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Additionally, the dark life had summoned hulking ogres, twisted by dark magic into grotesque and formidable creatures. These ogres, larger and more powerful than their natural counterparts, became the vanguard of the dark life's new armies. Their presence was marked by the stench of decay and the chilling whispers of forbidden magic, the Frostfire Chimera's kin. Reports from scouts and adventurers began to surface, revealing that the Frostfire Chimera was not an isolated creature. Evidence indicated that there were others of its kind lurking in the uncharted northern reaches of Eldoria. These chimeras, similar in appearance but differing in elemental affinities, had begun to emerge from the icy wastes and volcanic regions. The new chimeras displayed a range of terrifying abilities. Some wielded the combined powers of ice and storm, their forms crackling with lightning and frost. Others, born from the searing heat of volcanic vents, exhaled plumes of toxic smoke and magma. The presence of these creatures created a volatile and dangerous environment in the northern lands, disrupting trade routes and threatening nearby settlements. The renewed threats prompted an urgent response from the human kingdoms, the elven enclaves, and the dwarven strongholds. The uneasy truce between the races was put to the test as the realm faced multiple threats on different fronts. The humans, recognizing the necessity of unity, called for a council to address the new dangers and formulate a joint strategy. The elves, although still reclusive, were drawn into the conflict as the dark forces began to encroach upon their borders. Their knowledge of ancient magic and their formidable archers became crucial in holding back the advancing undead and monstrous creatures. Elven scouts and mages worked to uncover and counter the dark rituals that were fueling the resurgence of the dark life. The dwarves, under High Thane Bromir's successors, fortified their strongholds, and prepared for a renewed conflict. The discovery of the dragon's return and the emergence of powerful chimeras prompted the dwarves to reactivate their ancient defensive mechanisms and reforge their weapons to combat the new threats. The dwarves' engineering prowess and craftsmanship became essential in constructing powerful siege weapons and fortifications. The return of the obsidian dragon, the dark life's vile new creatures, and the proliferation of chimeras posed unprecedented challenges. The realm's response required a complex web of alliances and coordinated efforts. Despite past betrayals and mistrust, there was a growing recognition of the necessity for cooperation to ensure survival. As the realm prepared for the new conflicts ahead, there was a glimmer of hope. The experiences of the Eldorian Clismos had taught the races of Eldoria the importance of unity in the face.
In the depths where the darkness lies, from the ashes a new shadow flies. What was thought defeated now returns. With a vengeance the cold fire burns. Shadows reborn from the darkest night, rising again in the flickering light. Through the mists and the twilight's roar, we face the darkness once more. Echoes of the past they call. In the shadows we stand tall. With the rising of the night, we prepare for the coming fight. The dragon's roar shakes the land anew. A storm of rage in the sky's dark hue. Undead knights and ogres stride from the gloom where the dark forces bide. Shadows reborn from the darkest night, rising again in the flickering light. Through the mists and the twilight's roar, we face the darkness once more. Echoes of the past they call. In the shadows we stand tall. With the rising of the night, we prepare for the coming fight. The canyons roll with a chilling might, through the frost and the flames of the night. In the cold and the fire they come, an army of darkness they drum. Yet in the heart of the coming storm, a spark of courage will transform. The shadows may rise, but we won't fall, for light can pierce through the darkest pall. Echoes of the past they call. In the shadows we stand tall. With the rising of the night, we prepare for the coming fight. In the face of the shadows' embrace, we find our strength, our final grace. For as long as the dark shadows loom, we rise with light to chase the gloom.
If you're enjoying the story of Eldoria, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated.